Hi everyone, and welcome back to Clever Patch Crafternoons. With Halloween just around the corner, I thought this week we could jump into some spooktacular crafts and make these fun little treat boxes that you can fill with delicious treats to give your friends and family this Halloween. Now there's lots of different characters you can make for this craft. I'm just going to be showing you one character today, but feel free to be inspired by our other characters because I know you're not going to be able to stop at one. They're loads of fun to make. For today's craft, you're going to need some paper. I'm using cover paper today, but if you've got regular paper, that's totally fine as well. And as always, if you don't have all the colors and you're only working with white paper, that's totally fine. You can decorate your paper using markers or pencils before you get started. We're also going to need a glue stick, a permanent marker, a pair of scissors, a pencil, and a ruler. All right, I think that's it. Let's jump into it. So today I'm going to show you how to make the jack-o'-lantern character. And basically what we're going to be doing is creating two origami boxes, one a little bit smaller than the other so that it can fit inside. So we're going to start off with a sheet of A4 cover paper and we want to make a square. So to do this, we simply fold up a corner to the long edge, crease it down, and then we just need to cut away this excess strip of paper. As always, adult supervision is recommended when you're using your scissors, just to avoid any accidents. So now we have a square of paper and we have one diagonal fold. So we want to fold it in the opposite diagonal to create a cross fold on our paper, and then we also want to fold it in half this way, so we have a horizontal line, and also this way to create a vertical line. So now we have across this way and across this way. Fold each of the corners into the middle point of the paper, giving it a nice strong crease down the edge. And now we want to fold our square into thirds. So I'm going to guess roughly. It doesn't have to be super accurate. But if you fold that bottom edge upwards and then try and make these distances around the same. Crease down and we unfold. And then if we turn our paper around, we can just fold this bottom edge up to the crease that we've just created. And unfold. Now we need to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we can tuck those triangles back into the center. Fold the bottom upwards to around about a third. Crease down. Turn our paper. Fold the bottom up to the crease we've just created. And now we have lots of folds going on. So we want to pull out the top triangle and the bottom triangle. And you're going to notice a large square here in the middle. And then there's also a smaller square in each of the corners. Now on these squares, you'll also notice a diagonal line. And what we're going to do is use our pointer finger to push that diagonal fold inwards and push it over to the opposite corner, square's corner, And we're just going to fold it like so. And this is pulling up this edge here. So we're starting to form our box. Hold that in place with your hand and then use your other index finger to push the opposite diagonal fold inwards like so. Then we have this nice flap at the top with a point, and you'll see the edges have come inwards and our box is taking shape. So we fold the top flap down and crease it nicely so that it's holding those sides in place now. All we have to do is the same again on the opposite side. So use our finger to push that diagonal crease inwards, fold it like so, and then repeat on the other side, bringing those corners inwards, having a nice flap at the top here that we can then fold into the middle, creasing along the top. And there we have our first box. Basically, all we need to do now is the same thing, except we're going to need a smaller square to begin with. So you want to take your ruler and a pencil, and we're going to make an 18 centimeter square. So rule up 18 centimeters from the bottom and make a mark on the short edge of your paper, and then rule along the bottom edge 18 centimeters, make another mark, and then we want to come 18 centimeters in from that mark and 18 centimeters up from that mark. Now we can rule some lines. And carefully cut out our square. Now, any of the excess paper that you're cutting away, be sure to keep that because that can be used for other craft projects, or you might even use it to decorate some of your characters. Now we have our 18 centimeter square. We use the same principles as we did to make our first box. So diagonal folds, horizontal fold, vertical fold. Points into the center. Fold our square into thirds. And thirds on the other side. Open up our top and bottom, and then use our index finger to bring in those diagonal edges, folding the flap over the top to hold our sides in place, and repeating on the other side. So now we have a large box and a small box that fit one inside the other. To create your character, all we need to do is use a marker to draw on our face. Some jack-o'-lantern eyes, and now a big toothy grin. So as I mentioned, you can turn these into lots of different Halloween characters. So think about what you would like to make. You can even use different collage pieces and add to your designs. With the jack-o'-lantern, you can add in a little stalk on top. You might want to create a skeleton using white paper and a black marker. Or you can even add some collage materials like wiggle eyes. You could create a vampire or a Frankenstein. Or you might even want to make a fun little bat. It's completely up to you, but once your designs are finished, you can simply add some delicious Halloween treats, pop the lid on, and give them to your friends and family. Well, I hope you've all had a wonderful time today creating your Halloween treat boxes. I'm sure your friends and family are going to love receiving a nice little treat in these cute boxes. Be sure to take photos of your creations, especially if you've come up with your own character. We would love to see what you have made out there as well. So be sure to tag us in on social media or shoot us an email at info@cleverpatch.com.au. I hope you enjoy the rest of your holidays and have a great Halloween when it rolls around. And until next time, happy crafting!